All right. When was the first anime breast bounce? Japanese Twitter debates.
I mean, what counts as a bounce?
This is a very important question. Why has
Let's
that
find
been
out.
asked before?
How far does it have to go up and down to bounce?
Let's find out.
officially?
I think it requires secondary animation.
Oh.
Famous manga artist claims famous character designer was the perky pioneer, but not everyone is convinced. A meticulous attention to detail is often held up as one of the distinguishing characteristics of Japanese animation, and the most celebrated anime are full of little environmental and biomechanical details that come together to help its creators realize a thoroughly conceived aesthetic effect. Which is why, of course, so many anime include noticeable breast bounces. Maybe the motivation isn't always quite so lofty. Regardless of the reason, though, mammary motion in anime is now common enough that a chest bounce hardly warrants an eyebrow raised level of surprise. But nothing happens in anime without someone drawing it. And manga artist Hiroyu Oku, best known for Gantz, recently tweeted a claim as to who was the first anime animator to include a breast bounce in their work. Is this from Daikon 4 or whatever? The first anime animator to include a breast bounce was Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, goddamn it, claims Oku. He told me so himself. It's on his Wikipedia page. Today, most anime fans likely know Sadamoto as the character designer for Evangelion or a number of Mamoru Hosoda directed anime films, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which has no breast bounces, Summer Wars, and Wolf Children, which has nip, but no breast bounces. Back in the day, though, Sadamoto was a member of an amateur animation group called Daikon Film that produced a pair of anime shorts for the opening ceremonies of 2 iterations of the Nihon Science Fiction Taika Science Fiction Convention. Motherfucker, why did I say the wrong name? The second of these shorts was known as the Daikon 4 opening and was screened in 1983 and consisted of a lavishly animated action sequence centered on the bunny-suited woman shown in Oku's tweet. At one point, after she hurls a giant robot into the sky, the woman flexes her arms in triumph. The associated torso motion makes her chest noticeably jiggle. And Oku's tweet implies that it was Sadamoto who animated the sequence. Japanese commenters responded to Oku's tweet with reactions including, quote, I've heard a rumor that one of his nicknames was Breast Bounce Sadamoto. Looks like it was well deserved. It must have given everyone who was there for the screening a mysterious erection. No, sensation. A historic moment. Oh, the legendary bounce. I'd thought Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind was the first, but that didn't come out until a year after the Daikon 4 opening. So Sadamoto is the father of the breast bounce? Wow.
I'm pretty sure I saw some in Lupin the Third Part too.
There was a breast bounce in Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind.
That's my statement. Wow, he really is an icon. Well, that's the Gunbuster animation director for you. As alluded to in the last comment, the Daikon 4 opening quickly acquired a legendary status for its overall passion and quality, not just the chest bounce, and several members of its production team would go on to form the professional anime studio Gainax. Sadamoto is credited as animation director for Gainax's 1988 OVA series Gunbuster. Gunbuster's opening sequence features an even more pronounced chest bounce as its main character walks toward the camera, which played a major part in the phrases Gainax bounce and Gainaxing, forming in the lexicon of the 1990s anime fans in English-speaking territories.
Taking notes.
And yet, not everyone is convinced that Oku's claim is correct. Among the replies were a few dissenting opinions with half-faded memories of seeing anime breast bounces in Lupin the Third, which began airing in 1971, or Zabungle, which premiered in 1982, neither of which Sadamoto was involved in. One commenter even claimed that he'd looked into the matter and found claims that the first instance of a breast bounce in anime came all the way back in an episode of Senin Buraka, also known as Hermit Village, an anime TV series that aired in 1963 and 1964, known for its risque humor. and that the first example of breast bounces in animation in general were in the 1928 Disney short called Big Tits. I'm sorry, Bright Lights. However, no. No,
that's a Disney
that one's in the vault. However, no commenter was able to point out a specific anime episode or sequence that predates the Daikon 4 bounce. So it's probably safe to say that even if Sadamoto may not have animated anime's first breast bounce, he animated the first one that people really remembered. There you go, the first modern breast bounce. The first one that bounced one or two jiggles a little too much to be normal.